Good morning, my dear students. Today, the most important chapter among the 10th history all lessons, because today I am going to tell you about Indian soils. Indian soils. This chapter was the part of geography. Yes. Regarding the Indian soils chapter, we are going to learn various aspects that are meaning and importance of soil in India, and second aspect, types of soils and their distributions. Then another point, soil erosion, causes, effects and soil conservation. These were the main important aspects. Shall we read, shall we learn in today's class? I hope you are all coming from farmer families. So, I hope you are all understand this lesson than all other lessons, because you are a son of farmers, you are a son of agricultural background, you are coming from agricultural background. So I am very happy to tell you about Indian soils, because I too was coming from agricultural background family. So before starting this lesson, I would like to tell you about the meaning and importance of a soil. Yes, soil is the thin surface layer of the earth, comprising closely intermixed mineral. Understand, my dear students? Soil is the thin surface layer of the earth, comprising closely intermixed mineral and organic substances. So, it is very important natural resource of our country, not only our country, to all the world. Because why? Agricultural is main occupation of our people of India. So, agricultural production is basically dependent on the fertility of soil. Yes, very good. If any agricultural development, if any agricultural achievement can be depends upon the fertility of the soil. Very nice. Soil formation of India is mainly related to the parent rock. See, relief, climate and natural vegetation. Yes, this soil formation of India is mainly related to the parent rock, relief, climate and natural vegetation. So, there is a wide variety of soils we can see in India. Okay, let's have discussed how many types of soils we can see. Tell me anyone? Yes, very good. Soils of India can be classified into 6 main types. The one is alluvial soil. The second is black soil. The third is red soil. The fourth one is laterite soil. The fifth one is desert soil. The sixth one is mountain soil. Yes, these are the 6 different variety of soils we can see in our all over India. Yes, the first one is alluvial soil. Okay, let us know about alluvial soil and their characters and their availability and their distribution also we can learn in this chapter. The soil that are composed of alluvium are called alluvial soil. The soil that are composed of alluvium are called alluvial soil. They are formed from sediments deposited by the rivers. Yes. How does alluvial soil form? Yes, alluvial soil forms the sediments deposited by the rivers. They are formed in the Indo-Gangetic plain and the sea. Indo-Gangetic plain and the sea waves in coastal plain. Yes, where were alluvial soil can be seen? Yes, this can be seen. This can be formed in Indo-Gangetic plain and sea waves in coastal plains. Then they cover an area of about 15 lakh kilometers square. Yes, this alluvial soil can be find in our India is 15 lakh kilometers square. In the area of 15 lakh square meters square, we have available of alluvial soil. Okay, through this alluvial soil, we can grow some major crops. They were main crops for cropped by alluvial soil. Those who are wheat, paddy, sugarcane, cotton, jute and vegetables also can be grow from this alluvial soil. Okay, I would like to ask have one question regarding this topic. Let you think and answer. What is soil? Already I was told. Anybody in the class? Yes, come on, raise your hands. Yes, very good. Soil is the thin surface layer of the earth, comprising of closely intermixed mineral and organic substances, is called soil. Once again, soil is the thin surface layer of the earth, comprising closely intermixed mineral and organic substances. Okay, then how is alluvial soil formed? The second important question, how is alluvial soil? Yes, very good, Ramesh. They formed from the sediments deposited by the rivers. Once again, they formed the sediments deposited by the rivers. Alluvial soil are formed. Okay, what are the reasons of diversity of soils in India? What are the reasons? There are different soils we can see in all over India. But what are the causes? What are the reasons of diversity of soils we can see in our India? Because of the parent rock, relief, climate, and natural vegetation. These are the 4 important reasons of diversity of soils in India. Okay, let me one more question I would like to ask. Yes, anybody? Yes. Suresh, good. List out the types of soil and founds in India. Come on, list out. Come on, show me your notebooks. Who list out the types of soils? Yes, you. Very good. Yes, 6 types of soils. Very good. Come on. One is alluvial soil. So second is red soil. Okay. Another black soil, laterite soil. Then desert. Then last one, mountain soil. Very good. The second important soil is black soil. Yes, they are derived from, this black soil is derived from the basalt rock. See, then so they are dark grey to black in color. In color they are dark grey to black with high clay content. They are highly retentive of moisture and extremely compact. Yes, this was the characteristics of black soil. They are highly retentive of moisture and extremely compact. Black soils are largely found in Deccan basalt trap region. Deccan, what we call it, Deccan region, basalt trap region, we can see these black soil, including some our states are having major part of black soil. Those who are find in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and some part of Telangana, and some northern part of Karnataka also can be seen, and parts of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu can be find black soil in these areas. Total occupied of the black soil in our India is, the area of black soil can be seen in our India is about 5.4 lakhs kilometer square in India. They occupy about 5.4 lakh square kilometers. Okay, let's which are the major crops we can grow in this black soil? The first one is cotton. Very good. Yes, sugar cane. Yes, you know the answers. I know. I hope you, because you are an agricultural background students. Yes, jowar. Very good. Maize, pulses. Then yes, no. Wheat. Very good. Chilies. Very good. These are the important crops we can grow in blacks. Okay, the third soil is a red soil. They are formed from the weathering of granite. These red soil can be formed weathering of granite and other crystalline rocks. The color of these soils is generally red or reddish brown. Both color can be composed in red soil, can be seen reddish brown and red. Then they are more sandy and less clayey. So do not retain moisture. So they cover a vast area, about 5.2 lakh kilometers square in India. 5.2 lakh kilometers square in India. These soils are spread extensively in Tamil Nadu. Yes, this soil can be found, most of the part can be seen in the Tamil Nadu. They are also found in southern Karnataka and some parts of Maharashtra can be seen, and Madhya Pradesh also, Uttar Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Nagaland and West Bengal and many other states can be seen red soil. Okay, what are the major crops growing in red soil? Let me know. Yes, anybody in the class? Yes, ragi, very good. Millet, nice. Then groundnuts, oh, so much good. Tobacco, yes, tobacco is very famous. And potato. These are the major crops which are grow in red soil. Okay. Now let us one more variety of soil can be seen in Indian soil, types of soil. Okay, that is laterite soil. This laterite soil are found in tropical areas under the conditions of high temperature, where can be high temperature can be found and where can be high rainfall can be seen. There only the laterite soil can be found. Yes, high temperature, where high temperature and high rainfall where can be seen, there only laterite soil can be found. So they are mainly found in uplands means, yes, hill stations like Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats and Chota Nagpur Plateau, Meghalaya Plateau and Rajmahal Hills and Vindhyas and Satpura Hills. In these places can be seen the laterite soils. These laterite soils are covered in the area of 2.48 kilometers square. So they are leached soils, not fertile or of limited use of agriculture. These laterite soil cannot be very useful for agriculture. So although our farmers, our agricultures can grow some important crops in these laterite soils, they are cashew, rubber, tea, coffee, paddy. These were the grown in the laterite soil. Okay, once again I will be asked some questions regarding this topic. How does black soil more retention of moisture? How does black soil more retention of moisture? Yes, because has high clay content. It has high clay content and extremely compact. It has extremely compact. So that's why black soil retention of high moisture. Then what are the features of red soil? Yes, formed from the weathering of granite and other crystalline rocks. The color of these soils is generally red and reddish brown. They are more sandy and less clayey, so they do not retain moisture. Then desert soil. So this was one of the most important soil, that is desert soil. These soils are formed under desert and semi-desert area. They are largely found and in the northwestern part of India. So they are fairly variable, have a high content of soluble salt. They are sandy and low in moisture and humus. So these are not suitable for the cultivation of many crops. In these type of soil, desert soil can be available in major parts of Rajasthan, southern Haryana, Punjab and the northern part of Gujarat. Yes, they occupied 1.42 kilometer square. Yes. Then which are the major crops can be grown in this desert soil? So date, then pearl millet for the major crops were grown in desert soil. Then the another soil is mountain soil. Yes, they are mostly formed due to the decomposition of organic matter. So these soils are mainly found on the slope of the mountains and hills covered by forests. Yes. Then they are largely found in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur states and along Western Ghats. These soils can be cover area of 2.85 lakhs kilometer square. Then they are rich in humus and are fertile. So they are useful for plantation crops. They are called coffee, tea, fruits were mainly major crops were grown in mountain soil. Yes. Then we learnt the variety of soils and available in various places in our India, and also we knew the crops which are grown in variety of soils, and also know about features of their soil and how to farm. Then another part of this lesson is also important, that are soil erosion. Yes, soil erosion refers to the removal of topsoil by natural agents. The soil erosion means soil erosion to the removal of top soil by natural agents. The rivers, glaciers, winds, sea waves, etc. remove the top of layer of fertile soil and deplete the fertile of the soil. Yes. Then what are all the causes of soil erosion? Let me know. The first important cause, deforestation. Then the second important cause for soil erosion is overgrazing. And then third important cause, the shifting cultivation. Yes. And faulty methods of growing crops, faulty methods of agriculture, and then making bricks and tiles, etc., are all the major causes for soil erosion. Then, what are all the effects of soil erosion? Yes, gradually, due to soil erosion, fall in agricultural productivity. Fall in agricultural productivity. Then the second is, it leads to silting. It leads to silting and floods. Yes. Then it also affects on change of the course of the rivers. This is very damage to our properties. Then reduction of capacity of the reservoirs like dams, such as dams, rivers. The reservoirs capacity has been decreased. Then groundwater level is lower. So then desert in soil moisture. Vegetation dries up. Then vegetation dries up. But drought is increased. Then economy as whole suffers great setback. Then, okay, we learned what is soil erosion and what are the causes of soil erosion and what are the effects of soil erosion. Okay, then we can find to know conservation of soil. Conservation of soil. Okay, what is the meaning of conservation of soil? Yes, protection of soil. Protection of soil is a conservation of soil. Protection of soil from erosion and preservation of fertility of the soil is called soil conservation. Yes, once again, my dear students, please listen very carefully. Protection of soil from erosion and prevention of fertility of the soil is called soil conservation. Then, several measures are adopted for conserving soil. What are all the measures to take to prevent the conservation of soil? Afforestation. Let me know first before that. Afforestation and reforestation. Then what are the other measures to taken to conserve soil? Control over grazing. Then contour farming. Then construction of check dams and contour bunding and gully control and bench terracing method. These are the major measures of soil conservation. Then the last, I would like to ask questions regarding this. What is soil erosion? What is soil erosion? Anybody in the class? Yes, you. Yes. Come on, tell me. Just don't hesitate. Come on, stand up. Yes, very good. Soil erosion, yes, refers to the removal of the top of the soil by natural agents. Very good. Soil erosion refers to the removal of the top soil by natural agents. Is called what? Soil erosion. Okay. Mention the main causes of soil erosion. First one is deforestation, overgrazing, shifting cultivation, faulty methods of agriculture, and making bricks and tiles, etc. Thank you. I hope you are all understood my class. I am very enthusiasm can be formed in our internal energy because of your giving answer. I am very happy. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you.
Soil formation is a beautiful process. It takes 100 to 1000 years for the formation of soil, and the factors involved in the formation of soil are parent rocks, climate, vegetation, animals, and microscopic organisms. Parent rocks refer to the original rocks from which the soils are formed. If the original rock is basalt, the soil formed is black soil. If the original rock is ancient crystalline metamorphic rock, the soil formed is red soil. If the original rock is laterite, the soil formed is lateritic soil. Now these rocks are subjected to weathering. It means softening and breaking down of rocks. Now this happens due to the influence of climate. And every day, due to the heat of the sun, the temperature rises and the rocks expand, and at night time the rocks contract. Now due to regular expansion and contraction of rocks, they break up into small sediments. Sometimes the rocks break down because they are in contact with water. Lime and silica in the soil reacts with water and they are extracted out of the rocks. The rocks finally become weak and they break. When the leaves from the tree complete their cycle, they fall down and decompose and finally become one with the soil. The animals excrete when they die and they too decompose and become one with the soil. The dead remains of plants and animals is known as humus. It adds to the fertility of the soil and makes it sticky. Earthworms, ants, termites, microscopic organisms mix up with the soil as they burrow, significantly affecting soil formation. In this video, we are going to learn about 8 different types of soils, and they are alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, mountain soil, arid soil, peat soil, saline and alkaline soil. To begin with, alluvial soil. Now these soils occupy 40% of the land area in India. Alluvial soil is formed by the depositional work of the rivers, and that is why they are known as riverine soil. And these soils are found in the river basins and the deltas. When I say river basin refers to an area covered by the main river and its tributaries. And when I say delta, it refers to the triangular shaped land between the distributaries of different rivers. The color of the alluvial soil can be grey, light brown, or yellowish. Now, these soils are very rich in chemicals like potash, phosphoric acid, lime, and carbon compounds. But at the same time, they are deficient in nitrogen and humus. And when I say humus, I refer to the dead remains of plants and animals which decompose. Alluvial soil is rich in clay, and if the clay content is more, water retaining ability of the soil is also high. They are ideal for the growth of crops like sugarcane, paddy, wheat, and other cereal and pulse crops. Due to its high fertility, regions of alluvial soils are intensively cultivated and densely populated. The entire northern plains are made up of these soils and they are known as inland alluvium. Now it extends from Sindh in Pakistan up to Bangladesh. These soils are also predominant in deltas known as deltaic alluvium. So it is found in the deltas formed by the rivers such as Ganga, Brahmaputra, that is Sundarban Delta. Then other important rivers forming delta are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Now in all these deltas, we will find deposition of alluvial soil. Then they are also found in the coastal plains of the country. On the basis of its age, alluvial soils is of two types and they are Khadar and Bhangar. Khadar is light in color and is composed of newer deposits, whereas Bhangar refers to the older alluvium and it is composed of lime nodules or kankad, and it has a clayey composition. Now Khadar is more fertile than Bhangar soils because new layers are deposited year after year during monsoon. Crops can be grown on old alluvium soil also, but that is after using manure. Soils in the drier areas are more alkaline and can be more productive after proper treatment and irrigation. In the upper reaches of the river valleys, the soils are coarse. Such soils are predominant in the Piedmont Plains. When I say Piedmont Plains, it refers to an area of land formed or lying at the foot of a mountain or mountain range. In the lower reaches of the river valley, the soil particles become smaller and more uniform. It is suitable for the growth of large variety of rabi as well as kharif crops, that is winter as well as the summer or we call monsoon crops. In the lower Ganga Brahmaputra valley, they are useful for jute cultivation. Now alluvial soil is found in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and the Brahmaputra valley of Assam. And then it is found in the coastal plains of India. Next one is the black soil. This soil is formed by the weathering of basalt rocks. This soil is the residual soil because it is formed at the place of its origin over the underlying rocks. It is dark in color and it is suitable for cotton cultivation. So it is also known as the Reger soil or the black cotton soil. The Reger soils are concentrated over the Deccan lava tract, which includes parts of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. We can find Reger soil even in some parts of Rajasthan. This soil has a high proportion of Limca P, that is lime, iron, magnesium, calcium carbonate and potash, and it is deficient in No-P, that is nitrogen, organic matter and phosphorus. Then it is red soil. Red soil is formed from ancient crystalline metamorphic rocks of the Peninsular Plateau. Under prolonged weathering by rainfall, these rocks break up to form these soils. These soils differ from place to place. They are red in color as they contain large amount of iron oxides. At several places, their color slightly changes as they appear brown or grey. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. This soil is mainly found on the plateau regions of the peninsular India. Red soil covers the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and the northeastern states. Actually, if you look at it carefully, they practically encircle the entire black soil region on all sides. They extend northward in the west and along the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. So if you look at the characteristics of red soil, it is porous and it has high percentage of iron oxides. It is generally shallow and its pH value range from 6.6 to 8. It is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and organic matter. It is not fertile but responds to fertilizers. It needs irrigation supports for cultivation. It contains soluble salts in small quantities. Next one is the laterite soil. Laterite soil is formed by the weathering of lateritic rocks. It is found in regions of heavy rainfall with alternating wet and dry periods. Due to heavy rainfall, lime and silica are leached out of the rocks. That is, they are extracted out of the rocks, leaving behind high content of iron oxides and aluminium. Finally, what is left out disintegrates, that is, it is subjected to weathering, and what we get is lateritic soil. Now these soils are of two types. One we call it as upland laterites and other one is lowland laterites based on their locations. So even this soil is red in color with a high content of iron oxides. It is poor in nitrogen, lime and rich in iron. It is of a coarse texture, soft as well as friable. When I say friable, that is the soil is loose. Well, it is loose because it has very low content of clay. Whereas we have seen that alluvial soil and black soil have high content of clay. Laterite soils have low fertility because of high acidity and low moisture retention. Manuring and other activities are required to make them suitable for growing crops. Now, crops that are grown on lower elevations are mainly paddy, whereas the crops that are grown on higher elevations are rubber, cinchona and tea plantations. Coming to the next soil, and that is arid soils. These soils are derived from the disintegration of adjacent rocks and are largely blown from coastal regions and Indus Valley. Arid soils are characteristically developed in western Rajasthan, which exhibit characteristic arid topography. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. Now, they are generally sandy to gravelly in texture and have a high percentage of soluble salts. These soils are saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is so high that common salt is obtained by evaporating the saline water. Due to the dry climate, high temperature and accelerated evaporation, they lack moisture as well as humus. These soils are deficient in nitrogen and humus. The phosphate and iron content is normal, which is good for the soil. These soils are rich in minerals, but the main limitation is lack of water. The soils exhibit poorly developed horizons. Plants are widely spaced and chemical weathering in these regions is limited. Lower horizons of soils are occupied by conquered layer because of the increasing calcium content downwards. Now the conquered layer formation in the bottom horizon restrict the infiltration of water. As such, when irrigation is made available, the soil moisture is readily available for a sustainable plant growth. So we can say that this layer of calcium plays a very important role in retaining the water. Going ahead with the next soil, and that is mountain soil. Mountain soils are found in the valleys, and hill slopes. These soils occupy about 8% of the total land area of India. They are formed due to mechanical weathering caused by snow, rain, temperature variations. Now, soil formation is quite slow in mountainous areas. This is because of the low temperatures, and so mountainous soils are comparatively thin and are badly anchored. These soils are generally shallow in depth, and that is why they are known as immature soil, because the soil formation is not complete. These soils are heterogeneous in nature and their character changes with parent rocks and climate. Now, these soils are very rich in humus but are deficient in potash, nitrogen, phosphorus, and lime. The slopes are used for horticulture and plantation crops like tea, coffee, spices, apple, peach, etc. Rice and wheat are grown in valleys. Potatoes are grown in mostly all areas. These mountain soils are found in hilly regions of Jammu and Kashmir, Sikkim, Assam, and Arunachal Pradesh. Next soil is the peaty soil. These soils are locally called Kari in Kottayam and Allipai districts of Kerala. These soils are marshy soils and are a result of waterlogging and anaerobic conditions. Now, this leads to partial decomposition of organic matter. They are found in areas of heavy rainfall, high humidity, where there is a good growth of vegetation. It occurs widely in the narrow part of Bihar, the southern part of Uttaranchal, and the coastal areas of West Bengal, Odisha, and Tamil Nadu. These soils are normally heavy and black in color. These soils are characterized by a rich humus and organic content. There is a presence of iron and varying amount of organic matter. The organic matter in these soils may even go up to 40%. These soils are generally acidic in nature, but at many places they are alkaline also. These soils are generally submerged during the rainy season and are utilized for the cultivation of rice. Because rice as a crop in the initial stage requires standing water. Finally, we come to saline and alkaline soils. Saline soils usually have a surface crust of white salts, especially in the season when the net movement of soil moisture is upward. Salts dissolved in the soil water moves up to the surface, where they are left as a crust when the water evaporates. There are many undecomposed rock and mineral fragments which over weathering liberate sodium, magnesium, and calcium salts and sulfurous acid. Some of the salts are transported in solution by the rivers, which percolate in the subsoils of the plains. In canal irrigated areas and in areas of high subsoil water table, the salts are transferred from below to the topsoil by the capillary action. That is, they rise up along the gap as a result of evaporation in dry season. The accumulation of these salts make the soil infertile and renders it unfit for agriculture. Alkaline soils are clay soils with high pH value. That is, its pH value is more than 8.5. A poor soil structure and a low infiltration capacity. Often they have a hard calcareous layer of 0.5 to 1 meter depth. So if a layer of calcium develops in the subsoil, it does not allow the penetration of water. So in such areas, the groundwater level is badly affected. In such soils, agriculture is possible, but only after treating the soil.